two playoff winners, Blackburn and Swindon. No real surprises in their lineup. It's the team which beat Millwall in the semi-finals. Paul Kitson, the striker that many Premiership clubs would like to have, isn't properly fit, so Roy McFarlane sticks with the partnership of Tommy Johnson and Marco Gabbiadini in attack. Leicester's Brian Liddell had a very difficult team selection, with most of the players who've recently been out injured for them declaring themselves fit again. This is the lineup he's gone with, though. 3 centre-backs and 3 out-and-out attackers. Ewan Roberts brought back after missing the last 6 games. Steve Walsh has completed just 1 match in the last 7 months. Paul Kitson is among the Derby substitutes, and perhaps surprisingly Julian Joachim on the Leicester bench. So 2 of the best players in the First Division don't even make the starting lineup. Today's referee to Pembridge, and the shot deflected away, and we almost had an early goal. Pembridge gets the cross in again, but straight at Blake this time. Coatsworth with the quick through ball, but Ormonroyd is clearly offside here. He hasn't heard the whistle. Well, certainly Gabbiadini could not have expected a chance to come his way that early, Kevin.
Yeah, and it ended up being a very good chance. A flick on here, and he finds himself in acres of space on his favourite right foot. Hits it well, actually, and the lad on the line does a terrific job.
Willis, the player who knocks it in, and headed clear by Willis. Good early pressure this by Derby. Leicester haven't been out of their own half yet, but they've got a throw in now. Gary Charles tackle. He's played in 2 major Wembley finals for Nottingham Forest, his previous club, and lost them to the near post area where Carey met it first for Leicester. Cowan's knocking it back in again. It's a good-looking ball. Forsyth wins the header. Good skill by Johnson. And although it was way over the crossbar, that was
really hot here today. And
took it up in a nice little chip ball forward for Hearts. Got 4 or 5 men forward here, Derby. Pembridge is one of them, but that's a sloppy ball by him. That will frustrate his teammates. And Carey just takes the heat out of things.
Well, Pembridge will be kicking himself there, because if he'd have just floated the ball over, he would have took the man out of play. He'll end up picking the ball up. But again, just need players to settle down, and we'll get a game of football here worth seeing.
Managed to hook it over. It was a good Leicester move.
Yeah, good build-up. I mean, it's just knocked in long, but this is where you feel they can get the better of them. They have got tremendous height, and he's unlucky. It's behind him, and he need a little less pace, and he might have lobbed it over the keeper. But that's where you feel Leicester are built to give Derby County problems today. The lad Williams, not probably renowned for his strength in the air.
You would have put money on Tommy Johnson finding the net then. It was a superb, incisive Derby move, but Johnson couldn't finish it off.
Well, this is quality. A great ball from Pembridge. A terrific run from Gabbiadini. He's so strong, and to pull this ball back here was marvellous, really. And I think Johnson, well, I said before, I don't think finishing is his greatest strength, but he would have expected to score from there. A terrific chance to put this game, put themselves a goal up there.
Swiftly again with Pembridge. Johnson to his right, Simpson to his left, and it goes to Johnson. And probably that was the wrong ball, and in any case, Johnson was offside.
Oh, Pembridge will be kicking himself. You ever saw the full angle there, because on his left-hand side was Simpson completely free. Look, Pembridge is cutting inside. What you can't see is outside on his left is a man totally free, and that's Simpson. And he's hell-bent on coming this way, and in the end, it's a badly timed run from Johnson. He just couldn't wait anymore.
But Derby have burst onto it brilliantly. Oh, it's a superb goal! Tommy Johnson gives Derby the lead. 18 minutes to half-time.
In the end, it was route one. This is a great ball, this in. And, I mean, as I said to you before, once he gets head start on these big guys, they're not going to catch him. And that proved the case here. And what he did this time that he failed to do last time was he thought, hold on, I'm going to hit the target this time, even though it's on his left foot. And that's a tremendous finish. Great ball from Simpson. There he goes. And this is the one way that Derby are going to catch them out time and time again. They haven't got this pace to cope with that at the back. They definitely haven't, and it proved it there. Great finish from the lad, and makes up for the bad miss he made just, what, 2 minutes early?
So Johnson, they're queuing up for the cross, but it was Cowans, rather surprisingly, who met it first.
You'll want to see a clip of that, will Gordon Cowans, because he doesn't win many headers in the box, but that was a very important one. And he's working his socks off out there. I'm very, very impressed with him, because he has got a hold head there, and he's working as well.
Corner goes in high, and the keeper did well to punch that one clear. Gibson turning it back in again. Taylor comes out, but he was fouled. Walsh angry with the decision. He says, not me, surely. And Simpson's done brilliantly, but just run out of room. Excellent run by the former Oxford United and Manchester City winger.
A terrific run, and I'll tell you, a great piece of defending. I think it's from Grayson, because a lot of defenders would have given away a penalty. He touches it on, look, he's going to go, and then he just suddenly stops. And I think also in Simpson's mind was the fact that he's probably going to get a penalty as well. Very good defending. Great break again from Derby. They're starting to ask a lot of questions.
Well, sure. And this is where Derby are looking dangerous on these quick counter-attacks. They've got 5 men forward again here. But Cowan surprisingly gave it away, trying to release Simpson. Charles under pressure from Orman Roy. Well played. And a great ball. Johnson. They're flowing forward to support him. That's a great tackle, though, by Carey, isn't it, just? Brian Taylor. That's excellent play by the Derby keeper.
You can see why he's been voted their player of the year. He couldn't have seen a lot of that ball coming. And that was a terrific strike from Whitlow. It really was. Great save. I mean, he got it too well. He could have done with cutting the neck off it, as we say in the game. But look at that. It's come through a cluster of players, and it's a great save.
Leicester are back under pressure themselves.
Well, didn't take a lot of predicting how they might get a goal, Alan. Big, high ball, a ball that really the keeper should have dealt with. But not only that, if we watch it, not only does he not deal very well with this ball, Williams really should have cleared it for me. Watch here now. A lot of players, he can't get to it. But Williams, it was easier to edit than miss it. He just seemed to get as if he got rooted to the spot. I think he maybe expected the referee to give a foul. But suddenly the game comes to life.
I've heard of a missed kick. That was a mishead by Paul Williams, and Steve Walsh has profited. It's his first goal for 8 months, and it has brought Leicester City level at a crucial moment in the game. Only 4 minutes of the first half remaining. It was a gamble even to play in, and the gamble now has paid off handsomely for Leicester. Whitlow for them. Blake. Forsyth's clearance to Simpson. And Coatsworth takes it off him. Orman Roy. There were just too many players in that crowd for any space to open up for Forsyth or anyone else. A little incident then, as the challenge was made. Johnson wasn't at all happy with it. But that certainly was a chance. Willis lying injured.
Yeah, I don't know what happened afterwards, but this was another great little move from Derby. A super ball inside on the angle there, and a great pullback. And he does get there first. And I know Willis was in close attention, but he really, should have hit the target possibly again.
But in the studio, that it certainly looked capable of doing something special here. Not to mention the option of lifting it high for the likes of Forsyth and Shaw. What's it to be? It's to be Cowans, and the wall is to do its job. Williams firing the rebound rather tamely straight toward Walsh. Don't know what on earth he was thinking of. And Walsh has kept the flow going with a good ball out to Whitlow on the left. A lot of players forward here for Leicester. Ormonroy, they might have just lost the impetus of this attack slightly, but that's a fine ball for Whitlow. And in the end, the final cross that was so important. Now Whitlow, Gibson still there. And once again, Derby managed to block the cross thanks to Charles. And that little hectic period of activity for the Derby defenders has ended with ace. Grayson couldn't win the ball cleanly, took the man, and the referee's calling him to one side. Now, how does he deem that? If he thinks that Johnson would have been round him as the last man in defence, he could call this a red card offence rather than a yellow.
He just said there, read his lips, I'm not going to send him off, and I think he's right. I genuinely think he went for the ball. I just think the pace of Johnson won the day, but he's just going to book him.
Yes. The Derby fans won't agree, but I think the referee is spot on there.
Yeah, also when you're finishing, you don't want too much paperwork when you win on your holidays, do you?
That was a genuine attempt to win the ball, although he did bring the man down, and he has conceded the free kick, but it's a yellow card.
May have been a different story had he been more central, Alan, but from that position, he wasn't really in a goal-scoring position. He may well have got into one, but I think common sense has prevailed.
And it's set up for Pembridge to hit it straight at the wall again, though. And then there was a little incident off the ball involving Gibson and Simpson, and the referee saw it and wants them both to come over. Good tackle by Carey, and Blake just cleans it up nicely. Wall's far edge of the penalty area. It's a great run by Jochin. Well, it's ended.
My goodness, he could have got a penalty there. If it had been, I suppose naive, it's a lovely word, but I know a lot of people would have got a penalty from this situation. See, this is a different confrontation now. The big fellas wouldn't have done this, but this guy's just going to go route one for Williams and go for the penalty area. And watch this. If he just there, look, he could have gone down because his touch wasn't so good.
At the other end, it's Johnson again fouled by Grayson. And Grayson's very angry that Johnson was trying to make that look worse than he felt it was. And Ward had to come out and clear things up while that little bit of an argument was going on.
In normal time. And then there's also the thought that maybe there's half an hour of extra time. And with no subs and red-hot weather and cramp and all the sorts of things that can happen, I feel that that must be because someone's struggling out there.
73,000 added to the 44,000 Burnley against Stockport, the 40,000 Wycombe Wanderers against Preston. What a tremendous weekend of high attendances we've seen here at Wembley in these playoff finals. Gabbiadini and Johnson in the middle. And he finds Pembridge. That wasn't a bad effort.
He has got a good shot, and maybe the chip might have been better.
To his left, Gabbiadini to his right. He went all the way, and the shot at the second attempt was fielded by Gavin Ward. Ormonroy both in the box, and the cross deflected behind for a corner by Gary Charles.
Good little move that from Leicester, and what has happened since the changes have been made by Brian Little, you've got a little bit more quality at fullbacks, I feel. Certainly with Gibson, he can deliver. You know, he's a winger come fullback, and he's happy in those positions, whereas before I didn't feel that Coatsworth was.
10 minutes to go, it's 1-1, Leicester's corner. Walsh got up splendidly, and Jochin just couldn't flick it back to him. Johnson at the other end, beaten. Whitlow or Thompson, the two choices here for Leicester if they fancy a shot on goal. It's Whitlow, and it's a good one. It was hit powerfully, but the wall is in the right place. 8 minutes remaining of danger here. Leicester have defended well again. But Cowans wins it back for Derby. And there's a slip, and there's a chance here! And Harkes could have made glory for himself. The man who made history, John Harkes, as the first American player ever to score a goal in a major Wembley final, could have had another headline.
Well, it was a comedy of errors almost that won it, because this wasn't a great ball in from Gordon Cowans. He knew what he wanted to do, but it's too low. It's a defender's ball, and he slips. And then he tries to get ahead on it, Colin Gibson, and it's just lucky it's on his weaker foot, his left foot, and he really snatched it a little bit, and that was a real chance. Look at the time he's got here. But there you go, another one passes you by, and they're the sort of things, he missed them, and then suddenly they get one at the other end, it goes in. But you can't fault this lad's enthusiasm.
And it goes towards Roy, brilliant save, it's in! Walsh has scored! Leicester City are in dreamland now! That might be the goal that finally takes them to heaven. Because heaven is what these fans will regard the Premiership as. And Brian Little's team, thanks to the inspirational Steve Walsh, might just have made it at the third attempt.
This is a terrific move, the best move of football by Leicester in this match. A magnificent cross here, no other word for it, and a great save from the keeper. But who's there? It's a centre-half turned centre-forward Walsh. And that's football. Derby have had their chance, Leicester have had theirs. The difference is Leicester have taken it, and unfortunately Derby didn't, and that could be it.
Orman Royd celebrates his vital part in that vital goal. And Steve Walsh, the man who's been out for 7 months, the man whose knee ligaments were wrecked and has spent so much time just working hard to get himself back to fitness, comes in for only his second full game since early in the season and gets his second goal that might win the playoff final and the place in the Premiership for Leicester City. Cowans again, across the box to Harkes. How vital his miss a few minutes ago could prove to be now. Leicester have a player, Gibson, lying injured as Cowans turns it in. Headed away by Carey, only as far as Charles. The cross has got to be good here, and it was good, but Johnson couldn't reach it. Simpson couldn't get the shot in either, and Grayson gleefully hacks it clear. We're into the last minute. Leicester City are leading 2-1. The Premiership is in sight for them. Julian Joachim in possession. Williams has taken it off him, but Joachim still going strong. It took 3 men to dispossess him. And Johnson turning it back in again. Orman Royd's there to clear his lines. Kitson with the shot, but it's wild and well off target. Here's the goal again that could give Leicester glory.
Tremendous ball inside from Joachim. This is the key for me, that great cross. Super header. Terrific save, but sod's law for a goalkeeper. In it goes, falls to a blue shirt, in this case Walsh, and he's not going to miss from there, 3 yards out. A terrific goal, worthy of taking him into the Premier League, I think.
Well, I'm sure a lot of neutral fans around the country will be behind Leicester City, having lost twice here. It would have been so cruel to lose again, but now they're looking at victory, and they've got a corner, and that's vital to keep the ball in this half of the field. Brian Little trying to remain calm. He's just deprived of the chance to head goalwards by Craig Short. They've just got to get it forward now. And forward it goes to Johnson, but he has no support. Gibson hits it in for Joachim. Joachim could round it off here for Leicester City. Well saved. Martin Taylor did well. And that's the final whistle. Leicester City have done it. Twice the Wembley losers, now the Wembley champions. And Steve Walsh has come back to give them glory and a place in the Premiership at long last. You can feel the emotion draining out of Brian Little, and the emotion too for the Derby players in defeat. Gary Newborn is down there in amongst the excitement.
Brian, first time Leicester have ever won here at Wembley, and it was a match you had to win after 2 years of disappointment.
Yes, I mean, I don't think we played great football. We decided that before the game. We wanted to come and be tough. I mean, I think the feature of the last 2 months, we've gone behind in so many games and come back to draw and sometimes win. And we just said before the game, if they score, hang in there. And I mean, we've had a couple of breaks, obviously. We're just chuffed to bits. I can't believe it.
What is the release for you? Because you've been under such strain, you know, the expectations this time around, you couldn't have lived with defeat.
Well, I guess if I've been under a bit of strain, I might have a lot more to come. So, I mean, I've got to be able to handle it. I mean, it's a great feeling. I mean, I've come here as a player and never lost, and I know what it's like. But I can tell you at the moment, I mean, it's a long time since I've been choked up, and I really feel it at the moment.
What about a word for Derby? You had the chances in the match, you hardly had a chance, and Wolves scored both your goals.
Yeah, I know, I mean, if we look at them individually, they've got some real talent, and we knew we'd be under pressure. We felt we'd got to hang in there. I mean, things like coming and watching the Villa playing Man United not long ago, where they hung in, was a lesson to me. And I think we've just learned a lesson out of that book as well, and we've done our best, and it's a great result, obviously.
What about
on the Epsom derby, the winning